And wouldn't be the first
File
time.
diagram code was a little
A
difficult.
couple semesters ago, I meant to send my graders a copy of the midterm exam and mistakenly sent it to everybody. And of course, that meant I had to make up a whole new exam, which takes me a lot of time. Okay. I intend to go over a bit of page 2 of the diagram, and yours might be better than mine. We'll see. But I do intend to
just. I wasn't off on the date there.
Well, you weren't off. You weren't off, but the time was not fair, and I'm surprised that nobody asked me about the time.
That might again be an issue with the whole. I know the Canvas date wasn't there. It was weird to find.
Well, all the due dates and times, everything is on the website. I used to have stuff on Canvas too, but I discovered that having dates like that in 2 different places was an unmitigated disaster. Because I would change one and not change the other. It wasn't worth it. So everything is now in one place. You got to go, for better or worse, you have to go to the weekly schedule to get the dates. And if you think a date just doesn't make sense, or the time in this case didn't make sense, send me an email.
All right, we'll do for future reference. Sorry about that.
Good. Yeah.
Glad to hear that I can resubmit.
Oh, let's see, John.
It's good to hear. Thanks, Professor.
Gee, John, where's John? John? I know you just joined because I got music. Oh, well.
Hey, Professor.
Yes.
I'm like unable to submit homework 0, the questionnaire. It says it's not available.
Questionnaire done. I'm done with the questionnaire.
It's not available until February 23rd for me.
Yeah,
so
unfortunately.
I haven't been able to send it to you.
I sent everybody a copy of the questionnaire along with the lecture notes from lectures 1 and 2.
I saw that, and I have
along with a note that said the questionnaire was embedded in the stuff, but I'm done with the questionnaire now. Although I do owe somebody 5 points. Where is she? Yes, Maisha. Okay.
Where was that questionnaire sent out, to be honest?
Questionnaire was...
I just have the link on Canvas that it was not...
the questionnaire was embedded in the lecture notes I sent out last week. Probably Tuesday or Wednesday, I sent out the notes, my notes from lecture 1 and my notes from what I thought would be lecture 2. I sent those out with a note that said, don't get used to this because I don't plan to make a habit of it. And the questionnaire was embedded in that Word document.
I apologize. I was looking for the link on Canvas or your website.
You know, when you can't find stuff or things like that happen,
it wasn't available. It was locked for me. So
send me an email and tell me. I mean, don't you know? And the same thing applies when you're taking quizzes or exams. If something doesn't make sense, ask. There's an old saying from well, I guess it's not that old, but there's a colleague of mine who was at the University of, was at Carnegie Mellon for a number of years. He passed away really young. And he gave a farewell speech to his students. And in the farewell speech, he said, do not be afraid to ask questions. Because if you don't ask questions, you don't get any answers and you don't get any clarification of anything. So you got to get used to asking questions. I don't know what other courses you took around here, but some of the faculty that I know in other courses, they would have been happy to answer questions. If you don't ask, you're wasting your time. Okay. You have, if something's due and you can't find it, or it's locked, or it's this, send me an email, please.
Okay, for this particular assignment, I was just confused. I thought that it might have been something for later. that we were
No,
going to have
no,
to submit.
no.
So I apologize.
Speaking of which, the survey, some of you gave me really good answers to a lot of questions. There were items like creating and innovating, getting your hands dirty, working alone, reading and listening, researching and doing your own digging. Those were things that got low ratings in terms of how these things relate to you. And I can tell you, creating is a good thing, and you should try to do more of it. Getting your hands dirty is essential. If you, for most of us, not everybody, but for most of us, if you don't get involved in doing things, you're not going to learn anything. If you think you're going to learn something from me, you're probably mistaken. Working alone, I do understand, and you'll be working alone for a while, but a little bit later on, we will have pairs, and you'll be working with one other person to try to get things done. Reading's essential. Listening, I tend to think is important. That's if you don't want to listen to me, you can always tune me out, go get a sandwich. It's all right with me. Researching, digging, doing your own digging for things, that's essential. Absolutely essential. People who read the syllabus, some of the interesting things. Somebody said that they were going to learn C# cold turkey. Not quite, because you know Java. And even though Java and C# are different in many ways, the basic principles of what you need to know for Java are the same as C#. Yes, the syntax is different, and of course the IDE is different, but the basic ideas are going to be the same. Oh, somebody wrote that they would learn how to debug, and that was really good, because the sooner you learn how to use the debugger, especially look at the locals windows in the IDE when you're working on a program, the debugger in Visual Studio is an extremely handy tool. And at some point down the road, maybe in a week or two, I'll have the TAs go over some of the essentials of debugging. Don't let me forget. By the middle toward the end of February, if we haven't gone over debugging, we need to, because you will find the debugger in Visual Studio to be of immense help when things don't go the way you want them to. Schobert, I'll send you a link to an article on yawning, which is something I do probably 100 times a day. It's not bad for you. It's not bad for you, as it turns out. It's not bad for you at all. But debugging is important. Learning a new language, yeah. You need to be involved. Absolutely. What other interesting stuff here? Learn through labs and homework. Yep. Learn DB connections. We will do that toward the end of the course. Learn how to develop your own classes. Absolutely. List 3 annoying things about faculty. Well, I got a whole list. Unless you really make me mad by not doing your work, there won't be any pop quizzes. I don't expose people's grades, at least not knowingly. I generally don't get unhappy with students' questions. Let's see, poor online structure. Well, we'll see how that goes. The major thing here is, somebody wrote that they get angry when faculty don't grade their work on time. Well, I will do my best not to make you mad about that. Somebody else wrote that they had instructors where they didn't understand what's expected. Excuse me. What do you do if you don't understand what I'm expecting you to do for homework or lab assignment or project? What do you do?
Ask questions.
Ask questions.
Thank you. Yep, just ask me. If I don't want to tell you, I'll let you know. But if you don't ask, then I'm not going to tell you. I think, PowerPoints. Just so you know, there are PowerPoints on the website. I don't use them anymore because I found that they put people to sleep in about 30 seconds. So I don't go through PowerPoints anymore. I changed from doing that kind of thing to running a project-driven course. But the project-driven course means that you have to get involved and you have to ask questions. Okay. Let's see. Office hours, I think you know all there is to know about office hours right now. Learning terminology. Don't try to memorize the terminology. Use it when you're talking to me, you're talking to your colleagues, your peers. Use the terminology. Don't try to memorize it. One of the things that happened here is in solving problems. There was a question of how do you approach solving problems? We'll skip the first course, the second programming course. 2168 for most of you, but for some of you, you took it somewhere else. Are you telling me that nobody who taught you 2168 asked you to design your algorithms or your solutions before you started coding? Is that true? Everybody just encouraged you to start coding right away? Yes? No?
I remember in data structures when we were learning all the different data types, they had us encourage us to draw when we were learning them. But I mean, it was mainly up to your. They definitely mentioned it though, that drawing always helps.
Okay.
But
Yeah, drawing can be
That's true.
worth many words. Anyway, I was a little bit disappointed. You all had 2109. I would hope that you, well, I know.
Did anyone else lose him?
Yep,
Yep, East Coast internet.
he knows. He knows.
Did he
Dude.
post?
Dude, I just got my internet back now, like for this class.
Yeah,
I
Jay,
couldn't use it.
you were having issues this morning, right?
Who's your server, your internet provider?
It's
Verizon.
been bad.
Verizon.
Right.
Oh,
The East Coast got tanked.
Today.
Verizon
Yeah,
was
Verizon
terrible.
had problems.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh boy, it's just
Yeah,
what we need. That's
I got
just what
kicked out
we
of the
need.
Zoom call like twice last class, so.
Well, let's hope we can all stick with this. Anyway, in 2109, in your database course, and in this course, design is as important as coding. And that's why we are going to be designing classes, and we have a form for designing classes. And well, it's not exactly a form, it's a structure that I like to see when you design classes. Somebody asked me about designing classes just around 2 o'clock. And my answer to you is, when you are designing a class, I want to know what the purpose of the class is. I want to know what the attributes are, names and descriptions. And I want to know what the methods are, with a brief description of what they're supposed to do. That's important stuff. If you can't tell me what the purpose of a class is when you're designing your code, then I don't know how you can write the class. Same thing goes for methods. We'll get back to that. Let's see here. Websites or other resources. Enough said about design for now. Most people in the answer to what's my name put their own name down. That's okay. The best one I got, I don't want to embarrass anybody, so I won't name names, but I got, with regard to the question about getting to know your neighbors, one person wrote that they got to know their neighbors because they saw them in what this person called the Holy Trinity of IS&T courses. Anybody know what the Holy Trinity of IS&T courses is for you this semester? Bunch of you are taking the same 3 courses. Do you know what they are?
You want me to do that?
3329.
3329,
This course,
3309, and
3344.
3344. And one of your peers referred to them as the Holy Trinity of IS&T courses, which I thought was pretty cute and which I passed on to some other people in the department without naming names. Anyway, I'm done with this survey. If you couldn't find it or whatever, you should have asked. Now, other questions before I take roll, which I should do now. All right, you can be thinking about it. Ahmed,
I'm here.
Bradley, Artis? Bradley's not, you're here, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just muted in the call right now.
Muzu? I know Muzu's here, I saw her. There she is, okay. James, I saw you.
Yep.
Eden?
Here.
Okay. Pranav, I saw.
Yep. Right
You
here.
here?
Mhm.
Leah?
Here.
Okay. Eric?
Present.
Shadera, is that right?
Yeah, I'm
Should-
here, but you can just say Chi.
Chi?
Yeah.
Okay. Maisha?
Here.
Okay. Joel?
Here.
Showy?
Here.
Showbit? Okay. Alan?
Here.
Jay Lee?
Here.
Kenfy?
Here.
Okay. Desmond is here?
Here,
Yes.
I'm here, yeah.
Okay. Desmond, where are you then? You back
I'm
in the
still-
States?
Nah, I'm not in the States.
Are you in Japan still?
Oh, yeah.
Pardon me?
Yeah, I'm still in Japan.
Still in Japan.
Yeah.
And what time is it there now? 2 in the morning?
4:17 a.m.
Brother.
Okay. Oh, by the way,
Michael?
thank you for the email.
Michael? Michael McLaughlin? Not here. Brian Miller? Okay. Austin, I know you're here.
Yep, here.
Sean Nolan is here. Spencer Park was here. Spencer?
I am here. I'm here.
Okay. Ron John. Ski Shop. And Vlad.
I'm here.
Okay. All right. Any questions anybody came up with?
You didn't call mine in.
Oh. Oh, you're not the only one whose name I didn't call.
Yeah, something else called mine either.
Yeah, you guys fell off the bottom on my list for some reason. I'm gonna have to fix that. Let's see. Vlad was the last person on my list. So who didn't I call? I didn't call Kenneth. I gotta fix my list. And I didn't call who? Oh, Tajrin. My apologies. There's one other person whose name didn't get called. Oh, I guess they're not here. Okay. Moving on. Any questions about page 1 of your tic-tac-toe behavior diagram as it relates to the form
Can I see an example of it, please?
of the diagram or the form?
Of what was due today? Well, I turned it in.
I sent you page 1 of what was due today in terms of page 1 of the behavior diagram. If you want an example of what I expect for the form, you have a copy of the form already done in the specifications for this project. And I'm going to try to open up the specs and see if we can, let me see here. I can't talk and chew gum anymore, which is really kind of bad. Where do I want to go?
Is it under a draw.io file?
It would be a draw.io file that I sent you, yes. And I will show it to you if you don't have it. And if you need for me to email it to you, I can do that after class. But let me, so you don't think you got it?
No, I did get it. I just don't have, whenever I try to open it, it tells me that it can't be opened. So it might be a problem.
Did you download Draw.io?
I think that might have been the issue.
If you didn't download Draw.io as a piece of software that you need to learn how to use, that will be the reason why you can't see what I sent you. So let me do this. Let me try to do something here. KNIGHT.
Okay,
You can do that too, but if you're going to do your own diagram, which you're going to have to do for page 2, you're going to need to do it in Draw.io, or you can do it in some other draw program, even in Word. I will tell you that from my personal experience, doing these diagrams in Word is cumbersome. Less fun than spending a couple hours learning the rudiments of Draw.io, which I found fairly easy to learn. And at my age, I don't learn anything very quickly. So let's see here. We need to go to the weekly schedule. And actually, let me see here. We need to go to the requirements. And now I need to share. So we'll open this document. And now I have way too many windows opening here. All right, so let's see, way too many windows. Let me click over here. Share screen. Okay. All right.